Hello, and welcome to the first episode of Tips and Tricks in AWS CDK Net from a full stack developer. AWS CDK currently supports JavaScript, TypeScript, Python, Java, C#, and Go as programming languages. In this series, the language used is C#. If you're a .NET developer looking to expand your skills on the cloud platform, this series of videos on CDK techniques, patterns, and tricks will help you tackle some of the challenges that are commonly faced when two different ecosystems, that is AWS and .NET, interoperate with each other. But before all that, there are some prerequisites to fulfill before trying out the patterns or tips and tricks suggested in this series. The following few slides will help prepare you on those steps. The CDK stack is a single deployable unit that can contain n number of resources that are nothing but AWS services like S3 buckets, EC2 instances, etc. A CDK app can contain n number of stacks. This is a simple example of a basic Hello World stack from the AWS docs. To do this example, you'll need to download amazon.cdk and amazon.cdk.s3 libraries. The program is simple. It initializes a variable called app. This is the CDK app that will synthesize the CDK stack to AWS CloudFormation template to deploy to AWS Cloud. The stack class contains a public overloaded constructor with three parameters. The first being the construct type, the second a string type, that is usually the stack ID, and the third a type of iStack props. The constructor itself is composed of a S3 bucket with its versioning property set to true, which is the resource that gets created when the stack class is initialized in the main function and the CDK app is synthesized. Let us quickly go through the example. First, I'll install the necessary libraries from NuGet in the Visual Studio Console application project. The CDK ls command is a CLI command that will list all the stacks in your CDK app. It is also a good way to check if there are any errors in your program. Like in this code, the scope parameter should actually be a this operator reference. The reference being the hello world stack class, because the resource, the S3 bucket, gets referenced only through the stack, and this is the vital information that the AWS CloudFormation template will contain for AWS to deploy the infrastructure correctly. Now the CDK ls command will list the only stack in our app because the error has now been fixed. Running CDK deploy will deploy the stack to AWS because I have already configured the AWS CLI with my access and secret keys as mentioned earlier in the steps to set up your AWS environment. Opening the AWS CloudFormation dashboard, we can now see the deployed stack. Navigating to the resources tab opens the stack's resource details and we see the my bucket deployed. However, the name of the bucket is junky. This is because if we do not specify the bucket name explicitly, AWS assigns its own name. In the next episode, I'll demonstrate that assigning a custom name is not as simple as it seems. The next episode will feature the different types of constructs in CDK and how to create a custom bucket with its own properties and some techniques to abstract the stack class into a composition pattern. So until the next episode, stay safe and enjoy the weather.